Hello, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube number 279. Today is April 29th, the end of April. I've got some FFO stuff to share and the upcoming WIPGO numbers for May. I think, I was thinking about MAYNIA yesterday because I was looking at a bunch of Flosstube videos. I was looking for a tutorial. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But and I thought, should I do MAYNIA? Should I not? And at this point, I don't think I have plans for MAYNIA, any kind of MAYNIA. This is 2023, so theoretically, if I could do what I've done in the past and do 23 new starts, I could do that because I've got plenty of charts. I might have to dye some fabric. I don't even know what fabric I have. I have some semi-kitted up projects, things where I've just put an appropriate piece of fabric in there. I haven't pulled any threads or anything like that for them, but I've got them in project bags with fabric ready to go. So I might see what I've got there and maybe do some starts, or I might not do MAYNIA because I've got plenty to do. With WIPGO, I've got my the 2 whips, 2 FFOs, and 2 new starts, so I might not. And plus I have some other plans for May going on, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. As of now, today's the 29th, so I have one day to decide whether I'm going to do MAYNIA or not. And I might do some form of MAYNIA. I've watched Pam and Steph. Steph has talked about doing new starts like Startober. I think they've done in the past, where she considers a new start like putting a length of thread in, and that qualifies as a new start. So I could do something like that, do a length or 2 of thread on a new project every day in May till the 23rd or whatever. I don't know. Well, remains to be seen. Excuse me. I'm drinking the last of this orange juice that we had that's very high pulp, very pluppy, as I say. That's a plup. But it's very good. I haven't had. We bought it when around the time I first got sick. There's lots of vitamin C and things like that. So I thought, it's been sitting in there. And I had a couple of glasses while I was sick. But I thought, I want to drink some more of that. Good source of vitamin C. And I love pulp in orange juice. I love this one. This high pulp, whatever. So anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about cross stitch. This is a channel about cross stitch, so let's talk about it. I'm going to get to my FFOs later. So I'm going to talk about what I've been doing. So for my WIPGO new starts is all I had left. I had done the Santa's house, 6 days on Santa's house. I finished La-Di-Da Kitty Kitty. And as a matter of fact, that's part of my FFO thing. It's not, get to that. So all I had left to do for my April WIPGO pulls was, excuse me, the new starts. And I had started on them. I mean, the FFOs, and they're in my FFO pile. But I did a little bit more on my 2 new starts. So one of them was the Swans, that I did more on that. So what I did was this, I think I had maybe completed this tree last time, and some of these snowdrops. So I did this white roof of the cabin, and I think I had done, just this little chimney cap. So I did the white roof, and I did these 2 trees here. And so my next dilemma was, where to go next. Do I do more of these little white snowdrop things? Do I come across here? I did a little bit. I think I did this little frond right here. And till I got to the end of the thread or whatever. And so I thought, well, I could do, come down here and do the edges of these things. I could do this swan right here. And I couldn't decide, so I stopped. So this is where I am on that. So I did, let me move this needle minder out of the way here. So I had, like, I think last time I had finished this tree and these little snow droppings. So I did some more, these three here and this roof of the cabin and this little frond, these two trees. So the swans go down here and the cabin, of course, the rest of the cabin. So that's where I am on the swans. And I don't know if I'll do maybe the others that are in that series, one of them is one of my new starts for May. I don't know. Maybe I'll do those for the as part of MAYNIA. I don't know. My other new start was Chameleon by Tinymodernist. The Swans, that's part of the A Year in the Woods series by Cottage Garden Samplings. So, yeah. Chameleon by Tinymodernist was my other new start for the month of April. And I did the border and the black tree branch that the chameleon is on. And these little black dots are the centers of flowers that are around him. And the other, I thought I was done with the black, but I remembered that the middle of his eye right here is done in black. I have to do that still. But otherwise, I did the border and the tree branch, and I'm starting on this other darker shade of green here. There's a little bit around his eye, and there's some on his head, and there's a bunch that's going to go in here. That yeah, you can see it in here. This darker green that goes around here. I'm working on that right now, but I've done this flower and these two little flowers, and I'm doing I've done the light green of this plant, and but so I did this border, and I did something that Sherry Berger of Cottage Camp had talked about, that when she has a border, a lot of times she'll do like a half stitch, the half stitch of it, so that if it doesn't meet up, or if it doesn't, if she makes a mistake, it's a little easier to pull out than if you're, if you have a full cross or whatever. And because of this, I started off, over here, and I started off doing, like, I was trying to decide, well, do I want to do one stitch at a time? Do I want to do, like one half and then, half and then back and then go up, But then because they're and I made a mistake actually. When I first started, I didn't put them 2 spaces apart. I put them 1 space apart. And I got up here and I was like, why is this not coming out right? It doesn't look right. It was because, I didn't leave, 2 spaces between the little blocks here. And so I had to take it out and go back, to put it in the right place. And so I did a half stitch all the way across. Like I did the, was it the inner one? Yeah. The inner one all the way around in a half stitch. And then I got up here to the one that I finished. And so I went back around this way. And then I did the outer line in half stitch, and then all the way around again to complete the things. So it came out right, and I didn't have a problem with it. But yeah, so the border is done. All the black except, like I said, the center of this eye right here is done. And I was having so much fun with it that I just, kept working on it. So, yeah. And that's all the as big as it is. It's 66 by 66. So it's, yeah. That's as big as it is. So anyway, that's Karma Chameleon by Tinymodernist. And I don't know if I'm going to keep working on that or not. I don't know, because May is going to be pretty busy. So I think I'll save all the FFOs till later. So for the I misspoke last time. I had the, I think I said it was the 23rd, and it was actually the 22nd, because the 20th was Thursday, was my dad's birthday, and the 21st was Friday, so the 22nd was Saturday, and I had the date written right here, April 22nd. And in my video, I said, oh, today is the 23rd. And so I was thinking Monday was WIPGO Day, and so I was like, oh, it's not either. It's Tuesday's WIPGO Day. So anyway, they announced the new numbers. Oh, I had it in my paper right here. And the new numbers are 23 and 25. So for 23, my whip is the Nativity berry. My sister bought this pattern, and she did the larger berry, and I'm doing the little berry. And on this model, the model is stitched on silk gauze, and so the blue around here is all stitched. But I'm not doing it on silk gauze. Thank you very much. And my berry will probably be bigger than this, because I'm stitching 1/1. So it's going to be pretty big. That's, the berry, it's going to be maybe bigger than a regular berry. I don't know, as big as this berry. But I'm stitching it 1/1. This is 25 count Lugana. And the color is steel blue. So I'm not stitching all the blue that's in the design here. This, because my fabric is blue already. So I have all these, swirls around the Holy Family, and then these, angels and everything else in there. And I think there's some animals also. Yeah, there's sheep and all of that. So I haven't got very far. But I was, like I said, I was stitching 1/1, so it's a little hard. And I haven't done the faces yet or anything like that. So I think I'm right in here working on Joseph's robe or something, I think, like that. I have a piece of thread stuck in something. It looks like in the robe here. So anyway, that's I have on my WIPGO, I have 6 days to work on this. So that is Nativity Berry by Erica Michaels, I should say. Yeah. So I'm doing this one here. So I have 6 days to work on that. And let me get it out of the way here. And then my other WIPGO, number 25, my other whip, is this Kind and Gentle Woodland Holiday Sampler by Artful Offerings. Karina Hittle of Artful Offerings. So this really, really cute pattern. This is my sister Eve's pattern she bought, and she asked me to stitch it for her. So I haven't completed it yet. I just have the beginning of the deer's head and his antlers here. So, but it's really cute, the little deer and the bunnies wearing little sweaters, and the cardinal with a scarf and everything else. It's just gonna be really cute. But I've just got a little bit of a start. There's the deer's head and antlers. So, and I have 6 days on this as well as my goal, my WIPGO goal. Yeah. So then my FFOs for number 23 and number 25. Oh, excuse me. I can't grab this. There. I have written here ice skating penguin, and I thought, oh yeah, and I pulled out this penguin, and I was looking at it, and I was going, it's not wearing ice skates. Why would I call it ice skating penguin? And I realized on my WIPGO, on my FFO list, I have Christmas penguin, and the one I had pulled out is my Christmas penguin, and it's a penguin with a little scarf on, and the scarf trailing behind him says Merry Christmas. I think it was a kit. Let me see if I can see it. Anyway, it's called. I called it on my chart, Merry Christmas penguin or Christmas penguin or something like that. Yeah, Merry Christmas penguin. So I thought, oh, the ice skating penguin is this other one that I did, and this was a little freebie chart that came with Cross Stitch Crazy magazine. That it would like have a plastic wrapper on it, and it would include some kind of freebie thing. So this was intended to be a card. So and this is by Helz Cuppleditch is the name on this Festive Penguin card kit. So it comes with a little envelope and a card, to a little card like frame thing to put the finished thing. So the idea is you put the penguin inside here, and then you can write a message and mail your card to whoever. So I don't really send out cards like this very but so I was talking about this in our Sticks and Strings video, and my sister Naomi was saying you could just put it in the both of my sisters were saying you could just put it in the card, glue it in or whatever, and then just have it displayed this way. Move it over here. So you still have the penguin in the little instant frame, and there's your FFO right there. So I'll probably do that. But yeah, so there's the little penguin. And he's all done there. These little ice skates. So yeah, so that FFO should not be hard. Yeah, and but that's one FFO. And the other FFO is going to take some doing, and that is my Blackwork Angels. I was going to do this several Christmases ago when I finished it, but this is a Prairie Schooler chart, and I just love these angels. They're very, you get a closer look here. They're very, I want to say Renaissance looking, very medieval looking. That's the word I want, medieval. Just sort of the way you would see statues and artwork and things like that. Maybe it's the Renaissance. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not a history buff, but that kind of old-fashioned look that they have there. And I got the idea for doing these. I was watching Ginger Gerald's Flosstube some time ago, and he did two of them. I don't know which two, but he did two of them, and had posted pictures of them. And I thought those are so gorgeous. So I looked up the chart, found the chart, and did all the things. And as a matter of fact, I think I used this for the first cross stitch camp that we had, and the challenge she gave us was work on something that was inspired by someone else or whatever, and that's why I did the Blackwork Angels. I think I finished them or something, finished stitching them. So there's Joy, and this one here with the little sheep. And I used, for the strings on this harp, I used a toile. And well, funny thing, these little stars here, I didn't read the instructions completely, and these little stars are supposed to be gold. But on the first, I had done like, I think 2 of them, and I had done these black stars, and then I sort of sort of was reading through the instructions, and I'm like, oh, well, the stars were supposed to be, because it says, backstitch the stars, and and I'm like, oops. But I had already done, 2 or 3 of them with the black stars, so I just, oh well, they're just gonna be black stars. So yeah, this one here with the doves, that's really pretty. So these are basically blackwork, as they say. I think this goes, yeah, like this. And also on these strings on the lute here are done in étoile. So so I cut them all out because I was anticipating FFOing them. And I just didn't get around to it at the time. This one here. And this one. I just love the look of these angels. And then I had somewhere, I don't know where I came across it, but Prairie Schooler also has these little bitty cards, and they're not necessarily very tiny projects, but they're just like you could buy a set of these cards. So there's like, I think 10 cards in a set, and they're on whatever theme. And so this one, I don't know if they're all Christmas or whatever, but it's like set 10 or something like that. I don't know what, set 5, I don't know. But had one of these angels. It had like the Blackwork angels, except this one it has blue in it also. So yeah, so this one it's slightly smaller than the other ones, but the same style, the same idea. So I went ahead and I bought the set of cards for that angel. And the other ones the other charts on the little cards are really nice. So this is my backing fabric, and what I'm thinking of doing is they're all going to be like flat folds. Oh yeah, I used a 12 on this little star also. So they're all going to be like flat fold ornaments for our Christmas tree, I think. And so this is the backing fabric that's going to go on the back. And this I bought at a quilt shop here in town called Mulqueen. Yeah. So there's that. So that's my other FFO project for May WIPGO. And then, just as an extra, not part of WIPGO, May 14th is Mother's Day. And so for that, I am going to work just at least one day, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how things are going, on this chart, Mother, by Ezia Gladstone. New York Dreamer is the company she has. The only problem I have with this chart, and I mentioned it before when I worked on it last time, is that this button, this flower, and this little, I don't know what it is, a medallion, whatever. I don't know if I'm assuming they're buttons, but it doesn't say. And on the back here, where it has, like, it says the design was stitched with 2 strands of Needleart floss over 2 threads. And it says, how to backstitch these, and has the different colors, for the different words and stuff. And then it lists the colors that are in there. There's only like 3. Gentle Arts colors. Says the size of stitches, and it has a website for her. And I think I've looked at the website, and it doesn't really have anything to say about these. But these little buttons and this medallion thing, or whatever it is, this is, I don't know if it's a medallion or what. I can't tell. But nothing. It says nothing about them. And on the chart, it doesn't even show, like, anything about, placement of it. It has this branch just ending and nothing there. So, and I kind of idly just, one time I was at the attic and I just happened to look and to see if there was anything that was appropriate, and I didn't see anything, any kind of buttons or anything that looked right, the right size, the right shape, nothing, And I certainly, like I said, I don't even know what that is. I don't know if that's some kind of medallion or something, or a charm, or I don't know. But they look 3D, like little buttons or something. But so I think I am going to do, there was a stitch, I think I talked about it here, because it was on the bunny sampler I had, that I worked on, I think, last summer. But there was a stitch called a something or other rose, something or other rose, and I can't remember the name of it exactly. But you stitch like 5 little separate stitches, and then you weave around those stitches, round and round and round and round, until you have this rose. So it's a little bit of, a little bit of texture. It sticks out a little bit, and it's, on the bigger side. But I think the stitches are like 2 or 3. The length of these little spokes is 2 or 3 squares, whatever. And so, so that might be what I'll do. I'll pick a color to use there and make those little rosettes things. I don't know, but anyway, so this is as far as I've gotten on there. I think it goes like this. Yeah, see, so like where these branches end is like somewhere like that. That's all there is on the chart. There's just an end, and there's no mention of the buttons or whatever that go on there. Ooh, sorry. But knock my needle minder off. Would not be good because there's a needle on this side. That was this needle minder was sent to me by my friend Sharon Metcalf. She sent me a few needle minders like that. Here. It's totally away. Anyway, yeah. So this is Mother by New York Dreamer, Ezia Gladstone. Yeah. So I'm going to do that on Mother's Day. I'll work on that on Mother's Day. Sorry. So now, we'll get to the FFO-PALOOZA. So, as part of my WIPGO thing for April, I had Mini Spring was one of my FFOs, and Little Hedgie was my other one. And so Mini Spring, from the Heart Needleart by Wendy, is this little chart here, and its finished size is about I want to say 5 by 7, no, 5 by 3-ish. And I talked about last time about this little board thing that looks like a barn door. You can't see the Z of the barn door part, but this is how I finished it. And then you remember I talked about the buttons that I found at Walmart, the little big bug-eyed buttons. So I glued them on here. There's a bee and a, I don't know, a butterfly, I guess, and a firefly, I think. And then down here, there's a caterpillar and a ladybug. But so I stuck them on here because I thought, oh, that's very springy looking. So there's the mini spring, and I used this yellow rickrack. And then my sister had bought a bunch of buttons because she was looking for a lemon slice button for her for one of her FFOs, and there was a bunch of flowers and mostly tropical kind of stuff, but some like with sunflowers and things like that. So I took a sunflower for that and stuck it on the bottom there to hide it, like where the rickrack joins up. But yeah, so that's mini spring. That's one FFO from my my WIPGO chart. Yeah, so I like the way that came out, and it's got a little hanger on the back so you can hang it on the wall or whatever. So let me get this out of the way here. Okay, so then the other WIPGO FFO was Little Hedgie by Just Nan, and this was a chart that I won from Arlene, the kitchen stitcher. She had a little giveaway and for Little Hedgie, and so she sent me the. She also sent some stuffing. And it was more than enough. It was really great. So this is my hedgehog. And I'm not much at sewing. Hold on just a second. Like I said, this is Just Nan, Little Hedgie. And I've had it finished for quite some time, but I was very intimidated by trying to, understand the instructions and all this stuff. And I even had my sister Eve, sort of go through it because they're very much, they're finished very much like a berry, but, with all those little extra things, how it's sewn together and things like that. So I was like, I don't quite understand. And so I finally watched a tutorial because Just Nan has a bunch of little mice and things like that. And my sister Eve did one of the little mice. But so I was watching this tutorial to see if visually I could understand it, a little better. And the girl that did the tutorial, Stitches by Shelby, I think, is the name of the channel, and I don't know when this was from, if it was this past Christmas or before that. Sorry, I got something poking me. But I guess at the time, she and a couple other people were doing, stitching these mice, like Little Hedgie, stitching mice, and they were doing a sow, and the name of the sow was Naughty or Mice. Stitch along. But anyway, so, everything, was similar in terms of finishing, except for a few little special things that were pertaining to the hedgehog. Like there was a thing about the nose, like sort of flattening the nose and like not getting stuffing in there. And I'm not sure if I don't think I did that exactly right, but whatever. So, and then it came with a little I put the little beads on there, the black beads, when I stitched it, and then it came with these little pins, and then it said add some extra straight pins, the plain stainless steel straight pins, whatever. But so this gives the hedgehog all of his little spiky texture. And then it came with this little leaf, and it said you either pin or glue it. Right now it's pinned, and I have to be careful because the pin goes all the way through it. You know, I poked myself with it a few minutes ago. But then there's also, it comes with this little button on the bottom to cover the gathered part. And probably I could have gathered this a little tighter to make the little smaller, but you know, you can't really see it. It's covered by the little button. So there's little Hedgie. There's his little ears and his eyes. And there's his little nose. So there's little Hedgie. He's finished. That was my second FFO for April's WIPGO. So then the other things I did, well, this is the la-di-da. It's pinned and waiting, because I was asking my sister Eve to stitch it, you know, and then I'll stuff it. And I'm thinking either if I have the right green yarn to edge it with, or I do have black yarn. I could do some cording. I don't know if I, you know, have the energy to do that. But this is it's a velveteen by Lady Dot Creates, and the color of this is, I want to say it's Bells of Ireland, I think is what it's called. There was something I was doing, I think when I did the little memorial piece pillow for my mother, that I think it was that one, that I ordered a bunch of green, you know, a couple of green fabrics and green trims and things like that from Lady Dot Creates, and one of the greens was Peapod and the other one was Bells of Ireland. So I think this is Bells of Ireland. Yeah, because Peapod was the one I used before, so this is Bells of Ireland. So it's just pretty green, and I thought it brought out the green in this fabric that it's done on. So like I said, I might use green, I might use black to finish that as a pillow. And then, and that was Kitty Kitty by Lottie Daw. Yeah, that was this one here. And I did it on green fabric instead of black. So that's. And then was it last month that I did stitching with the Housewives. Let me see if I can see it real quick here. Yeah, February. Pumpkin Pile and Ghoul's Garland were my FFO pulls for WIPGO, and I decided that I wanted to do them with Catoween Cow. These are all stitching with the Housewives patterns, and so I'd done the other two. I stitched them a while back, and then Catoween Cow I used as my new start that month. I think in February I also, in February I used it as my new start, and I finished it not too long after that. I think in March, I don't know. But so I had FFO'd Pumpkin Pile and Ghoul's Garland, but I had not attached them yet to this little tombstone that I got at the dollar spot at Target some time ago. But I did Catoween Cow. I did it finished it in the same way with this orange fabric and purple rickrack, and then I stitched it. It's a little bit hard to see certain things, like right there. He's got green on his eyes that are a little hard. It doesn't show up very well on this fabric, and the gray is a little hard to see in some places. But so they're all finished the same way, and I stuck them to this. It's like a chalkboard thing, but it's a tombstone And there's a little hanger on here. You can hang it up here. So that's done. And then I also had done this for my brother-in-law. Not everything counts. I mean, you can't see the sheep because they're invisible, white on white. But so I had finished this, I think last month or something, and I went ahead and FFO'd it on this little wooden pallet thing from Hobby Lobby, and has a little easel back. It also has a hanger on the back if you go to hang it, but it'll work on his desk at work. And so this is a saying that my brother-in-law liked, my brother-in-law Mark. Not everything that counts, no, I always say this wrong. Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. So there's a whole bunch of little random whole bunch of sheep and only one peacock. This peacock can be counted, but it doesn't count. The sheep, oftentimes cannot be counted, but they do count. So anyway, that was my take on the idea. And this is a quote by W.B. Cameron, the person that was quoted. So yeah. So that I FFO'd that as well. So that's I think that's everything that I did this month. All these FFOs I did like Thursday and Friday. Yeah. So I just had a flurry of activity in the last couple of days. But so right now those are my plans for May coming up. The ones I mentioned, the whips and FFOs that I mentioned. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do something for MAYNIA. If I do, it'll be like just very minimal new starts or something maybe. Because I have to do 2 new starts anyway for my WIPGO requirements. And so I may just go ahead and add on to that and just do at least 1 line of stitching. And that way I'll have plenty of things to work on as whips for next year. If I finish everything that I plan to finish, whatever. So I may end up with lots and lots of whips that I can't squeeze onto my WIPGO board next year. I don't know. But anyway, so I think that is about everything. It seems like I accomplished a lot, and I have a lot to do for the month of May. Let me think. If there's I meant to say last week I talked about one of the threads for the Karma Chameleon thing, that I was looking for these 3 colors of thread that I hadn't been able to lay my hands on them, hadn't found them in some of my other projects or whatever. And so so I had the one I had at Hobby Lobby. We went there sort of on the spur of the moment, and I hadn't written down those 3 numbers, but I thought I figured out. I thought I remembered them, and the 351 was the one thread that I got the right numbers, but I got them in the wrong order, so I picked 531 because I thought it was a green color, and it's not. And so I had the one thread I was still looking for, and I couldn't find it, hadn't found it. And so I was thinking I had to go back to Hobby Lobby, but I didn't want to I really don't carry cash very often at all, and I just use my debit card, but I didn't want to use it for a 53-cent skein of floss at Hobby Lobby. And so I was thinking, well, is there anything else I need to buy? I don't know. I don't want to just like buy something just to buy something. But I did have to go to Walmart again to pick up a prescription, and I had to get a couple other things. And so while I was there, I went down the across the aisle that had a little bit across it, and doesn't have a very big section. There's maybe 3 or 4 feet wide. One little section there. There's some of those plastic storage boxes, section boxes on the bottom, and then there's like a little tray of a few colors of DMC, and then there's a few little kits and a few hoops and a few things like scissors and things like that. So it's not a very big selection and not a very big section. And there's lots of yarn and fabric and other things like that. So I thought, 351 is such a random number and such a random color. I didn't think I would necessarily find it, because in this very limited selection of threads they had there at Walmart, I thought, there's white and there's black, and then, it's a crapshoot of whatever colors they carry. And so I happened to, so I looked there just on a whim, and there was 351. And as a matter of fact, when I brought it home, I was like, is this with the right color? And I'm, like making sure is the, and I swear I double checked it like 3 times just to make sure I had because it was such a random, kind of lucky thing to do to find it there. But yeah, it's correct. So yeah, so now I have all the Karma Chameleon numbers, and actually, between today and tomorrow, maybe I'll even finish it. I don't know. So I think that's it, and yeah, I think that is. So next time. Oh, my sister Naomi had through various things through the symphony had come up with this idea of with the symphony there they have some special considerations for like kids and adults, I guess, also, I don't know, kids mostly, with like with autism, something that, where they have sensory issues, and so they have concerts for them, but they usually give them like a little activity bag, something they can do to distract themselves, or if they get stressed or whatever. But anyway, so they're looking for, with the symphony, they're looking for things that are quiet, that where, what if they, if they are making use of them, they're not, making noise during the performance or whatever. And so, in talking with the people that are, that are working on that, one of the things Naomi was looking for ideas, I guess, online, and one thing that she came across, and she was thinking that we could, my sisters and I could do it as sort of a service project, and that is to make these little like felt kind of baggy things with, you stitch a little, kind of like a maze, and then you have like one of those little smooth pebbles that they use in like in vases or things like that. Those little smooth, flat pebble things. If you can put one of those in that little maze, you can squish it around with your fingers and through this little maze, and it's it can be a sensory thing, a distracting thing, or whatever, something that a kid could do during the concert that would not make any noise, and could be reused, by multiple people. It could be, taken and washed or whatever, and then, put in a bag for the next person to use or whatever. So we're going to look into working on those. So I don't know when exactly we'll work on that, start on that, but yeah, that's going to be our project that we're working on later on this year. So yeah, so that'll be kind of fun and interesting, and you know, Eve and Naomi are the ones who really sew. So I'm going to be helping out wherever. Uh, but yeah, so that's an upcoming project that we're going to be working on, planning on, whatever. So don't forget to visit our Etsy shop. It's the, you know, April is winding down. We had a sale going on the month of April. So you still have a couple of days today. Today's the 29th. Tomorrow's the 30th. You have a couple of days to look for those things. The sale we had going on for the month of April was 15% off of if you buy 2 or more products on the website. So if you buy, you know, a needle minder and a scissor fob, that's 2 products. That's 15% off of the combined price of that. So something like that. So be sure and, you know, check it out, the things we have to offer on the Etsy shop, and see if there's stuff that you like there. And there are a few patterns. There's some project bags, needle minders, and scissor fobs, things like that on there. So feel free to take a look. And like I said, you know, there's a couple more days left of the sale for April. And, you know, take a look at that. And hopefully you'll find something on there that you like. And I think that's about it. And I will see you again next week. It'll be the month of May. And we'll see how things are going. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. And I will see you next time. Bye.